take 95. Here we are with another video reaction. This one is like a review slash reaction. So, you know, the Batman came out. It was fire. I really liked it. So my first initial, so the first part of this is just going to be me just telling you, okay, look, the movie for me, it was fire. I like the environment. I like Gotham City. I like the Batman, his costume. I like the environment so well that I think that the costume just went well, right? The costume, it worked in that environment. I'm not sure if you take that Batman particularly out into another environment, I don't know how well it would work. I don't think it really worked like for a daytime Batman. But you really didn't see him in the day. Like this movie, a lot of the setting is at night. I think it's only maybe one part when it's like the daytime, right? So other than that, like that was fire. The music was fire. Like I really liked it. So I want to say out of 5, if we do like a 5 scale, I'm gonna give it. Let's go with 4.5. Like I really want to give it 5, but I'm sure that just on first initial watch, you just watch it one time. I'm a Batman lover. I've seen all the movies. I'm gonna give it. I really want to give it a 5, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Okay, so we're gonna lock in with a 4.5. Now let's go ahead and get into this reaction and see. Just so this way, now this is gonna be spoilers, right? So this is gonna be a new Rockstar. He's gonna be breaking it down and giving the analysis. Let's check it out, see what he has to say.
New rock stars, I'm Erik Voss, and this is a breakdown of The Batman, Matt Reeves' detective noir take on the Caped Crusader, also known as the world's greatest detective, in this case played by Robert Pattinson. Not always the world's greatest detective in the story, but hey, it's only his 2nd year into it, and the movie is all the better for it. This is one of my favorite cinematic depictions of Gotham and its broken toys. There's so much to appreciate about this film. The clues Reeves hid throughout this film to set up the mystery, subtle details in the camera work and the music, and Easter eggs pointing to the broader DC universe. My favorite kind of movie to break down, and I'm gonna do it scene by scene. Spoilers ahead, here we go. And big thanks to Boxu for sponsoring this video. More on their tasty offerings later. Oh, by the way, I am wearing our custom design of Gotham Noir, a shirt available for a limited time at newrockstarsmerch.com. It's really the best way to support what we do here. So the film opens with the abrupt title text of The Batman filling the screen. Actually, the way the 2019 Joker opening title text filled that screen. But here, it's kind of like one of Bruce's red-tinted snapshots taken from his eye lenses, filling all of his vision. This film constantly shows extreme close-ups of eyes and fingers, objects so close we can't really distinguish them, as well as the point of view shots from those peepers, a reflection of this film's shifting points of view that keep us guessing who the real villains of the story are. The opening shot is actually one of these POVs from under the mask of the Riddler, his breath sucking through his military cold weather mask as he peers through binoculars, a recurring voyeurism as we later see Batman doing the same thing to Selina Kyle. This opening shot is reminiscent of John Carpenter's opening point of view shots in the movie Halloween.
Yeah, and that scene, like that part where you get to see Batman and you had those same type of like he was using the same camera or whatever, the same like binoculars or whatever he was using, that kind of made me think like, yo, hold up now. This like the same, could this be like where, you know, Batman is crazy, you know, crazy Batman.
Silent boy killer heard only by his heavy breathing from behind his mask. The Riddler's gaze passes a cop guard sitting at the gate. Didn't you see, Seinfeld? You never give them a chair to sit in. There's lots of holes in the security. But then he lands on a boy dressed as a ninja inside, pretend killing his father before heading out to trick or treat. We've been primed by so many Batman films to expect the first kid we see to be a young Bruce Wayne, especially since Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins explored Bruce's backstory as a ninja. But this flips the script on us, revealing it to be the son of the corrupt mayor, Don Mitchell Jr. Yet still, this is a grieving boy that Batman will later feel a connection with.
Now, see, I was taking it like maybe they was trying to set up a Robin there for the future. And I don't know if they're going to jump into this world or like stay in there, if it's going to get a sequel, if it's going to get a continuation. But I definitely was looking at the similarity, was like, all right, this is either Bruce Wayne, you know, this is a new origin story, or this is like, you know, kind of hinting towards Robin. So we'll see.
Now, the music over all this is Schubert's Ave Maria, sung by a boy falsetto, a recurring track setting up the Riddler's history as a choir boy orphan framed in a press photo with the Wayne family. Ave Maria is a common funeral hymn. It actually plays later at the mayor's funeral, and then again back at the orphanage. And if you listen closely throughout this film, the composer, Michael Giacchino, uses a minor key rendition of Ave Maria as the Riddler's theme music. Dun, 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 dun. Now, opening on Halloween night is definitely a nod to the Long Halloween, the first real great Batman detective storyline from the comics, a story that ties heavily into the Falcones and the Maronis. Other comic influences were Batman Year One and Cook's Ego, both arcs you definitely want to read, but really I gotta say, Matt Reeves clearly made this movie its own thing, and you could just point to anything in this movie and say it was from any comic book ever, but this movie is better appreciated for its cinematic details, not as just a list of comic book Easter eggs. So that's the approach I'm gonna go in this breakdown. Because speaking of Carpenter's Halloween, there is a great Michael Myers-esque reveal of the Riddler directly behind the mayor, only revealed when the TV light flickers brighter. Like Batman, the Riddler first appears to us from the shadows, but never steps out of those shadows until he is ready to kill, not giving his prey an opportunity to see him and make a different choice. Now, this Riddler look with the glasses over the mask is inspired directly from the descriptions of the Zodiac killer, who also taunted police and the media with mysterious ciphers written in his own alphabet. He clubs the mayor with a tucker, a tool used in carpeting, proving the Riddler planned from the beginning for Batman to find this tool and use it later to uncover his home floorboards to reveal his long game to bomb the city seawalls. And then we jump to Halloween night from Bruce's perspective. We actually start on these weird two glowing shapes that look like eye holes from inside his Batman cowl. But these extreme close-ups are actually part of the bat signal igniting, steaming in the rain. And you'll notice this bat signal is not the clean stencil that we've seen before, but a chunk of metal jammed into the shutters of a standard searchlight, just showing how Batman and Gordon are really in the early days of their partnership. Also reflected on the location of this bat signal in this unfinished construction site. Then we see Gotham's Times Square region with a Gotham Empire building, a Holiday in Gotham, a Bank of Gotham, the Gotham Tribune, and then this screen PSA warning, addiction to drops on the rise. Drops being the name of the new eye drop drug of this world. The guy who robs the store is actually wearing a green drop mask. He's a literal drop head. And this store is called Good Times Grocery, which is an Easter egg to the Robert Pattinson crime movie Good Time, which Matt Reeves said that he watched while writing the script for this movie that made him want to cast Robert Pattinson. And you'll notice it's almost always raining in Gotham, a detail lifted directly from the movie Seven, in which David Fincher made sure it was raining in every exterior shot in the city to show the oppressive nature of urban life. Bruce describes how the Gothamites ignore the rain, all of this rain setting up the city's eventually.
And the crazy thing is that I was actually thinking like, yo, when are they gonna do, or they should do a Batman that's like Seven, you know, so you would just shoot it just like it's the movie Seven, but instead of Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, you got Morgan Freeman and Batman, which that would be what Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Flooding in the third act. The more water, the more the criminals are able to overtake the city. Batman stalks this group of thugs wearing white face paint, though you'll notice their initiate, played by Jay Lasergo, who actually...
Now, see, here was another. I was like, yo, so he could be Robin as well because he didn't cross over yet. You know, he's about to get initiated, and he's a nice size, so you know he could be like the black or the Spanish Robin. So I know you fanboys would go crazy over that.
Actually plays Tim Drake on Titans. He only has half of his face painted since he has not yet earned his full spot in the game. Now, after we saw two fake outs where criminals looked into the shadows of an alley terrified that Batman would step out of them, finally he does here on the train platform. Giacchino's score evokes John Williams' Imperial March for Darth Vader.
So let's see what we can whip up here. All right, so let's choose hip hop.
And Batman's entrance here definitely recalls Darth Vader's first arrival through the smoke in A New Hope. By the way, the cinematographer on this movie was Greg Fraser, who also DP'd Rogue One, which had its own iconic Darth Vader shots. And he introduces himself.
Hell, you're supposed to be.
Yeah, this Batman was brutal. Like, yo, that's one thing that I liked about Ben Affleck's Batman was just the brutality of him. But this one, look, man, this guy's they need to get this guy off the streets. Like, yo, he's crazy.
On Vengeance.
Yes. Now this is a Year 2 Batman. Still getting his name out there. He's actually called Vengeance more often than he's called Batman in this movie. Also, I am Vengeance is part of his famous 3-line phrase from the Nothing to Fear episode of Batman the Animated Series.
I am Vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman.
Batman tases the last guy on the throat, showing that Batman's armor itself must be electro-proof, setting up how he survives getting shocked by that generator in the flooded arena in the final act. Batman joins Lieutenant Jim Gordon at the mayor's crime scene, showing off some impressive detective skills, deducing the thumb was severed when the mayor was still alive, and noticing a bloody mark on the floor from where the murder weapon bounced over there. But even the photographer was like, oh, what's he looking at? Oh, damn, I should snap a shot of this. Now, in a way, he does live up to his title of the world's greatest detective, but I would argue in this film, he's actually not yet that much of a detective. He makes some crucial errors, but it makes for a much better story, especially for someone at the beginning of his career in vigilantism. On the walls are newspapers celebrating the mayor's Maroni drug bust, referring to the gang of Sal Maroni, rivals to the Falcones, the whole thing we later learn in the movie, a total sham. Newspapers also include a subtler headline about the city's seawall construction problems, teasing the Riddler's final plan to target those seawalls. And then this clue.
Your secret friend. Who? Haven't a clue. Let's play a game. Just me and you.
This card with the skeleton saying from your secret friend was modeled directly on the real life card sent by the Zodiac to San Francisco Chronicle reporter Paul Avery that had a skeleton saying from your secret pal. The riddle is, what does a liar do when he's dead? Answer, he lies still, is decodable using the same double letter technique cited by Robert Graysmith in the Zodiac film.
What's the most common double consonant in the English language? The double L. And what's the one word that we know that he'll use in here at least once?
Kill.
You'll notice how later Alfred will try using the same technique to mark off all the double O's before Bruce realizes that eliminating the 6 letters they were given fills out the Riddler's favorite Ryan Gosling movie. From the crime scene, the music shifts to Nirvana's Something in the Way, with Kurt Cobain's lyrics reflecting his grunge take on Batman from Robert Pattinson, the guy who wishes he was homeless and feels more comfortable on the streets at night. But also, as the final track on Nirvana's Nevermind album, it actually precedes a secret track that comes after 10 minutes of silence called Endless Nameless. So this recurring track in the movie is really the Something in the Way of Bruce's true mindset, as he is a detective masking a secretly violent monster underneath that layer. Cobain's lyrics also reference the animals I trapped, referring to the past criminals that Batman has caught in these first 2 years, and how the Riddler literally traps animals in cages for Batman to find. You'll notice right as Bruce arrives in his Batcave, the old Wayne Tower subway station, Wayne Terminus, we hear Cobain singing, underneath the bridge, tar has sprung a leak. Another indication that the flood is coming.
coming, a flood that probably will actually flood this whole Batcave. Bruce's moody voiceover has actually been his journal entry in a notebook labeled Gotham Project, framing this Batman as a young physician experimenting with different cures for the city, a doctor like his father. In contrast to the Riddler, who approaches the ills of the city as a forensic accountant, looking for and diagnosing redundancies where the numbers don't add up, but not prescribing true cures to those discrepancies. His first entry in this film is the night of Thursday, October 31st, and in the epilogue after the flood, it's the morning of Wednesday, November 6th, meaning the whole movie.
Yeah. This guy goes, and just other people like, yo, but this guy definitely, he went in with really analyzing and just watching his movie several times, and he's been making a lot of good points.
It transpires in about 6 to 7 days, but it is the dawn of the 7th day. In Genesis, it took God 7 days to create the universe. But since we are right on the border between that 6th and 7th day, 6th day is when God created man. We haven't fully gone through that 7th day yet. A way of showing how in this movie we have not yet fully acquired that 7th day of rest. There's still work to be done. When Bruce joins Alfred for breakfast, I love this. He squints at the morning sunlight and has to put on sunglasses, as he is a self-described nocturnal animal who's getting too accustomed to seeing nighttime prey through his special lenses. And like Morpheus' line in The Matrix, his eyes hurt because he's never really used them properly before. Here on the ground floor, there's actually a bust of William Shakespeare, which could be a possible nod to the 60s Adam West Batman when that cave was accessed by a button hidden in Shakespeare's bust. Then in the mayor's garage, Batman knows which card to check from the shears in the tire left there by the Riddler. The shears probably used to sever the mayor's thumb, which is why Batman then looks for a USB thumb drive port. Thumb drive. And they say this movie doesn't have jokes. Batman fights his way into the iceberg lounge and breaks the nose of the moonlighting cop named.
Now this scene, this whole fight scene was fresh. It was crazy. It was really crazy, and you could just feel the intensity that Batman was in. It was like, yo, man, Batman is he could get taken down at any time, especially if they overthrow him. But one of the things that he was using was a technique from like Sifu. You can see in the game Sifu, when you get a lot of people going up on a ledge and just start throwing people down. Look, man, it's gonna get rid of a lot of people.
Bill Kenzie, who's actually a narco from the Gotham Central comics, and Batman meets Oz Cobblepot, the Penguin. There's a great visual exchange here where he sees Selina Kyle boots first, and then as Selina exchanges cash for drops with Oz, Selina quickly recognizes Annika from the photos, which Batman notices, and then later after talking to Oz, he sees the same boots on Annika in the photos, and knows for sure that the two must be involved somehow. But then my favorite detail in this movie comes right after this. As they exit the lounge, we're outside, in the upper corner of the frame, there's a lit window showing a silhouette, snapping photos of the lounge entrance. This is the Riddler. That is how he got all of these embarrassing photos. This is only 30 minutes into the film, folks, but this isn't revealed and confirmed until 2 hours later that Nashton's home is across the street from the lounge. And you'll notice this is in a hotel lit in a green neon sign. This is under our noses from the beginning of the film. I love it. Then after sparring with Selina, Batman finds her overdue electric bills that list Selina's address as Queen Street in Gotham, US. There's no state listed because throughout the comics of the films, Gotham's exact location in the United States tends to shift around. The news reports Commissioner Savage's murder, his head in a cage fed to snarling rats, a detail from George Orwell's 1984 when Winston is tortured in room 101 with his head in a similar rat cage. Then when examining his body, Batman and Gordon look at the Riddler's rat maze with a newspaper in a linear path. In a tray is a second riddle, this time a purple envelope with a card showing a mad scientist pouring chemicals. I'm mad about you. Wanna know my name? Just look inside and see. And then inside an explosion with, but wait, I gotta tell you that might spoil the chemistry. Of course, teasing the Riddler making up a bomb for the DA. And at the bottom he writes, follow the maze till you find the rat. Bring him into the light. You'll find where I'm at. Batman then teams up with Selina so that she wears his recording lenses to scan VIPs in the club. Here she meets DA Gil Colson, and as she talks to them, her red wig contrasts with the blue light on his face, which gets colors to get mirrored at the end of the night when the Riddler straps the neck onto him in the car, which Reeves and Fraser keep way out of focus, just flashing blue and red lights, evoking a police squad car. Ironic for him being the arm of the law, but now facing justice for his own corruption. I also really like the detail of Coulson having to wipe the steam off the windshield since Riddler had been sitting in his parked car all night, steaming it up. And as the camera pulls back from this attack, it's all framed with the Gotham seawall in the foreground, the waves right up to the top, super high tide from all this rain, marking this street corner as one of the targets of the Riddler's later detonations. Alfred has translated the maze cipher to, you are El Rata Alada, saying that Spanish isn't perfect, since, as Oz later points out, Rata Alada is a Spanish feminine noun and adjective, meaning it should have the pronoun ala, not el. A clue, of course, into the wordplay of URL. Also, perhaps a nod to the spelling and grammatical mistakes throughout the Zodiac's letters and ciphers, which some codebreakers believe may have actually been intentional. Probably not, but most of these criminals think they're smarter than they are. Alfred gives Bruce Thomas's Wayne family cufflinks a W with a curved line through it, which visually matches the designs that the Riddler used for many of his symbols. Hard lines with curved S shapes or question mark shapes snaking through them. At the mayor's funeral, Bruce gets met with paparazzi. Now later in the Riddler's home, there's a newspaper clipping wall of a past Bruce Wayne tabloid photo with a smiling face behind him that matches the smile of Barry Keoghan, who plays the Joker in an Arkham prison cell in one of the final scenes. Now, I didn't see Barry Keoghan in this mob, but I just love the idea that he might have stalked Bruce as one of these photographers in the past, similar to how John Doe in Seven cameoed in plain sight earlier in the film as a paparazzi. Inside, a young man tries to sneak past the barrier before getting caught, and Bruce chats with another angry father, glad the mayor's dead. Both of these men are wearing dull green jackets. I think they were both among Riddler's followers who later attacked the rally. Actually, that angry dad is definitely the same guy who later gets unmasked on the catwalk and says he's vengeance. Now, you can see there's a lot to talk about when breaking down this amazing film, so to fuel me through this process, I'm gonna try my best to focus on some interesting choices in my snacking game. And you can take your snacking on an international adventure with our friends at Boxu. Boxu is a monthly subscription service that delivers premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings straight from Japan to your door. Boxu partners with family-owned snack makers to make their original treats. Every monthly box is themed. This month's theme is Sakura season. Sakura is Japanese for cherry blossom.
Look, we gotta let these guys paying for this stuff. We gotta let them get their advertising in.
And the cherry blossom is an important cultural symbol in Japan, and their blooming is a huge event. So every year, people celebrate by gathering under the trees for flower viewings called hanami, and they have picnics together. It's wonderful. As you can see, the box is just packed with all sorts of limited edition cherry blossom themed snacks, and this booklet that comes with it tells you everything that's in the box, what part of Japan it came from. So this is a Sakura mochi from Nagano in Japan. I just love the texture of mochi. Look how squishy it is. Oh, it's really good. Oh, I love mochi so much. It's like I'm eating a pillow that's hugging my teeth back. So if you want to have your own Sakura celebration and support new rock stars here, click the link in the description and use the code ROCKSTARS to get $15 off your order. But the funeral gets interrupted. For all this, we stay inside the church. We only hear the faint engine revs, the screams, the dull pops of the gunshots, all growing louder and louder until the SUV crashes in. You'll notice the Riddler painted the letters DOA on the car, a joke for the DA being DOA, dead on arrival. And using a neck bomb this way may be inspired by the horrible incident involving Ryan Wells in 2003. Very complex plot, involved theft and blackmail. I recommend a documentary I saw on Netflix about that, but I hate that documentary because it showed the death with zero trigger warning. Netflix, can you please just put a little trigger warning before that part happens, or take it out? Anyway, Bruce returns as Batman to claim his third riddle, now in a yellow envelope. In these trying times, never forget, I'm just a phone call away, and then he wrote ring, 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 dozens of times. You'll notice the text gets more and more crammed in toward the bottom of the card. The Riddler's live stream includes comments egging the Riddler on, including one that says, hope it's a dud, and we gotta do it all again Tuesday. A clue for how the Riddler actually plans to blow up the seawall on Tuesday, election day. Others diss Batman, screw the poser in black, I need more Riddler. And what if that body armor thing will save him from the blast? Indeed, it totally does. The Riddler asks,
it can be cruel
Now that scene, one thing that I liked about that scene was just where Batman was willing to just put his life on the line, right? Like I'm sure he believed that, like, yo, the Riddler is going to kill this guy, but he still remained close where everybody else just kind of ran away. So even though he knew that time was coming up, and he knew, okay, look, he got a little bit of that plot armor. So
Poetic or blind, but when it's denied, it's your violence you may find.
Justice. The answer's justice.
The second riddle.
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
It's referring to the cost of Coulson's bribes, which apparently is $10,000 a month, not to prosecute certain cases, which brings us to the third riddle. Since your justice is so select, please tell us which vermin you're paid to protect. But because Coulson will not give up the rat, Batman flashes with the GCPD, but Gordon helps him escape with a dramatic leap off the tower and wingsuit.
This was sick too. Look, they had a lot of sick moments, a lot of sick scenes in this movie. Again, plot armor was thick because come on, man, you in a police station, they pulling that cape and cowl off to see who is vengeance.
But the part of the L train that he clotheslined is actually right next to that neon green hotel sign. So this is right where the Riddler lives. He probably saw all of this go down. Now, suspecting the Penguin is the winged rat, they follow him to a drug deal at the recycling plant, leading to the shootout and chase. This movie's Batmobile fires up. It's a true muscle car with an exposed engine. Flames bursting out the side of the undercarriage like Batman himself. He's ready to explode. This street chase is some of the best action filmmaking I have seen. Reeves and Fraser mount the cameras on the sides of the cars to make us feel like we're looking through the side view mirror or we're in the back seat looking out. Meanwhile, the music that Giacchino uses here interrupts his main Batman theme with rapid percussive breaks.
If you're like me, you've probably
Hear the charging theme when the Batmobile gains on the Penguin. Also, they thump in the barrels, which syncs perfectly with the percussion. They pass under some highway signs with DC references. The Gotham docks are freight docks used by organized crime in the games. Robinson Park is a poor neighborhood in Gotham City where Selina Kyle lived during the No Man's Land storyline. Tri-Corner Yards refers to the Tri-Corner, the triangle-shaped island on the south side of Gotham, where the GCPD is located in No Man's Land. And then Hinkley River could refer to South Hinkley, a downtown borough in the Gotham Knight anthology film and a location in Dark Knight Rises. And the chase reaches its climax. As Batman approaches Oz, we see him framed upside down in the fire, upside down like a bat hanging from above. And I love this. After they interrogate the Penguin, he waddles after them with his ankles bound, moving just like a penguin does. The Riddler lures them back into the orphanage that Thomas Wayne donated to the city, but since his renewal fund was emptied, it failed to ruin. A projector shows Thomas's mayoral campaign announcement beside a group of choir boys, one of whom was Edward Nashville. And I like how when Bruce realizes he is the next target, the Riddler's previous two riddles come back to haunt him. The woman picking up the phone and the old man blowing up. Alfred opening up the explosive package, and Dory answering the phone to tell him he was too late. As Bruce tries to figure all this out, laying out the evidence on the floor, an overhead shot positions him at the center of all this evidence as his dual roles as both the Wayne heir and Batman make him really the center of the Riddler's plot. More center than even the Riddler realizes. Selina reveals Falcone is her father, as has been the case in the comics, and Bruce sees the Riddler's latest video detailing the histories of the Wayne and the Arkham families. How reporter Edward Elliot uncovered the secret of Martha's parents' murder-suicide, leading to her being in and out of Arkham for years. She was actually the heiress of the Arkham family. Riddler wrote over this the word hush, referring to Thomas's hush payments on this story, but also a clear nod to the Batman hush storyline. Another great detective mystery that also features Batman and Catwoman romantically involved, while the Riddler orchestrates this plot from behind bars. That reporter's name being Edward Elliot could be a nod to the great grandfather of Thomas Elliot, aka Hush, in that storyline. Thomas's cease and desist comes from the law firm of Miller and Moore, an Easter egg for the comic writers Frank Miller and Alan Moore, who wrote what I think are the best Batman graphic novels, The Dark Knight Returns and The Killing Joke, respectively. Falcone tells Bruce that Sal Maroni had his parents killed to keep Thomas from being a forever loyal asset to Falcone, but Alfred clarifies that Thomas was actually planning to sell out Falcone to the police on the night that they were murdered. He just never verified it was actually Falcone's doom. And I love that this movie keeps it a mystery. Selina's able to get the truth out of Kinsey that Falcone killed Annika, and that Falcone was the true winged rat being protected by city leaders and ruling over the corruption of all Gotham, as everyone was really draining Thomas's billion-dollar renewal fund. The way this mystery unfolds in the movie parallels the movie Chinatown, which explores how the city of Los Angeles was built on corrupt dealings around the city's water infrastructure, including the twist of the top boss having a secret daughter. Batman charges in to stop Selina from killing Falcone with an amazing hallway shot from Reeves and Fraser, lit only by the flashing of the machine guns, just like Fraser's hallway shot in Rogue One, lit only.
Now people, I know they're gonna be like, yo, how come they not going at that flesh? Like, come on, man. They just shooting him in his chest everywhere he has armor. Like, come on, somebody gonna have to at least try to hit him in this cheekage area.
By the lightsaber and the blasters. Falcone gets arrested and he taunts Gordon saying, "What are you with Zorro here?" Classically, it was outside a screening of a Zorro film where Bruce's parents were killed in the comics, which was one of his inspirations to don a black mask. But the Riddler shoots Falcone dead. Batman notices this is under a flickering street lamp, bringing the rat into the light, also marking the spot as one of those blinking Christmas lights in the Riddler's floor mat right next to where a seawall bomb was planted. The Riddler surrenders calmly in a diner with imagery actually matching Edward Hopper's painting Nighthawks. But his surrender at the end of the film's second act, plus the police's discovery of his horror show apartment, is also directly from Fincher's Seven. Both criminals having thousands of pages of handwritten ramblings, and John Doe surrendering to police as part of his master plan, such as the case with the Riddler, who calmly traces a question mark in his drink. The Riddler has two IDs, one for Edward Nashton, the other for Patrick Parker. Both are known aliases of Edward Nygma in the comics. The police are able to ID Nashton as a forensic accountant, thus how he knew which city leaders were profiting from the renewal fund and whether Coulson was telling the truth about his $10,000 bribes, and why here all of his journals are written on ledgers. You'll notice a close-up of one of the pages shows entries from July reading, "I know what I must become," the line that he repeats then over and over and over below, like a student repeating a lesson as a punishment on a chalkboard. What he must become is a masked vigilante, something he learned from Batman, whom he viewed as a silent partner, someone he thought would be impressed with his work. Batman finds one more letter in a red envelope in a bat cage, a card with a proverbial monkey dancing for an organ grinder. This proves that the Riddler, at least at first, did not know Bruce Wayne and Batman were the same person. If his plan was to kill Bruce with a bomb that Alfred opened and then for Batman to find the "See You in Hell" note followed by this card, Riddler must have thought he could kill Bruce Wayne and then celebrate afterwards with Batman, a separate person. But the way the Riddler whispers his name here,
Bruce Wayne,
does make it seem for a beat that the Riddler is saying it to Batman to taunt him. But then the scene backpedals when the Riddler comes back to it saying,
Yeah, I thought that he knew, like, all right, he about to release already. Look, man, this is year 2. Like, and by this time I totally forgot that this was year 2 of Batman's whole inception. So this is crazy. This was nice because I knew that there was going to be some type of twist, but I didn't know what the twist would be. So this was pretty cool.
Bruce Wayne. He's the only one we didn't get, which I think is a great twist. Showing how the Riddler saw him and Batman working together to bring down the elites like Bruce Wayne, and he was just repeating the name out of his own personal lingering envy for the orphan got the spotlight instead of him. But I think there is another way to read this, that perhaps after setting his plan in motion, putting those stamps on all the letters and sending them out, when Bruce Wayne ended up not dying in the explosion, the Riddler might have been able to conclude that was because he led him that night to the orphanage, accidentally keeping his target away from harm, so that maybe now he might know that they're the same person. He's just not yet revealing that he knows, continuing to tease Batman. I don't know. I can make an argument either way.
No, I don't think so, because I think he looks at Bruce Wayne, and most people look at the rich as being soft and weak, right? Whereas Batman, you're gonna think that he came from somewhere, like from the gutter. And I want to say that even Catwoman, Selina Kyle, Batman says something, and she was like, "Oh, all right, yeah, you're rich. I can tell you from a rich family because of something that he said." It was early in the movie, so that's just kind of leading that everyone thinks that Batman is comes from like the mud.
And the fact that Paul Dano walks the line so carefully so that we're not really sure how much the Riddler knows is what makes him so great. When Batman returns to the Riddler's apartment on his social media account, he finds comments from others, including one who says, "Don't forget the cling wrap." Paul Dano actually revealed in an interview that originally he committed to wrapping his whole body in cling wrap so that the Riddler wouldn't leave any DNA at the crime scene. So Paul Dano eventually just gave up doing that because when you wrap your body in cling wrap, your skin cannot perspire. So the plan comes to fruition and the vans explode. The seawall caves, flooding the city, enacting an Old Testament disaster, a plague upon the city, wiping it clean. And this herds everyone at the high ground at Bel Real's campaign rally in the arena. The Riddler's followers plan to open fire. Batman drops in, takes them all down, fighting alongside Selina. One point he checks himself with the adrenaline, he goes full Ralphie Parker.
You fucking over them! I'm going to make him Chris. Did you hear what he said?
But floodwater pours in, and a loose electrical cable dangles over the water, so Batman swings over and, using the detachable chest emblem blade that we saw used before, he cuts the cable, knowing that his shock absorbent armor will protect it. I mean, I love this reveal, as it confirms my theory from over 2 years ago when I demonstrated how that chest piece could actually be made into a blade by fully making one out of cardboard and then stabbing Philip with it. And then he leads the survivors to safety. He is transformed from a shadow to be feared to a beacon of hope. And for the first time in this movie, as he looks into the daylight, he does not squint. Meanwhile, his voiceover describes how the flooded city is now at risk for a new.
And just in that still, like the suit was all right. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad. Like the suit is definitely, I wouldn't say, I don't know where I would rate his suit, but it's not that bad.
Criminal takeover as we see the Penguin gaze out at his new empire, a flooded city, perfect for a penguin, a flightless bird, but an excellent swimmer. Back in Arkham, Barry Keoghan cameos as the unscreened Arkham prisoner in a cell beside Riddler, saying, "One day you're up, the next you're a clown," laughing maniacally while teasing a wide grin, a bit of a disfigured face. Yes, the Joker, which was further confirmed by this movie's post-credit clue, directed us back to RottaAlada.com, where a new cipher revealed the symbol for the letter Z, leaving the only letter left in the Riddler's alphabet still a mystery, the letter J. Well, Mr. J, his new best friend. Actually, since then, a new cipher dropped on the site translating to, "You think I'm finished, but perhaps you don't know the full truth. Every ending is a new beginning. Something is coming." Still, in all those letters, no J. Matt Reeves actually confirmed in an interview that there is a deleted scene in which Batman, after seeing the Riddler's clues pointing to him in particular, did actually meet with the Joker face to face in Arkham to consult with him. I guess kind of like Clarice Starling consulting with Hannibal Lecter, and he indicated it might show up on the Blu-ray release. In the final scene, Selina says she is planning on moving to Bloodhaven, a neighboring city in the comics known as the base of operations of Nightwing, but Batman does not follow her.
And that Joker, like that was one of the things. So remember, I gave it a 4.5. I would say some of the things that take away from it getting a 5 was the Joker, and I think that's probably why they took him out, because I don't know, he just didn't fit. Like for me, he just seemed like something that would be in like the George Clooney or the Val Kilmer's Batman. Like his look, it wasn't as like gritty and rough and just scary as the Riddler. Like his suit was horrible. Like his suit looked awful. And I think that's what like the Joker needs to look awful as well. Just like like everything in this movie is like ugly beauty. Caw-caw!
She says, "Who am I kidding? You're already spoken for." Now, yes, this is something Alfred says in the Year Zero comics, but as Selina says it, her eyes dart to the left. Her eye line is connecting with the bat signal in the sky. That was the first image we saw associated with Batman in the very opening minutes of the movie. While this movie at times flirted with being a Bat and a Cat story, I think its strongest partnership was really between Batman and Gordon. It is a detective story. However, they were not, in this movie, the world's greatest detectives. Honestly, they screwed up constantly. Their Spanish was bad. The only way they caught the Riddler was because he surrendered to them. The city's seawall still imploded. The city's left flooded. You could argue that they completely failed their Riddler investigation. Really, the victory belongs to the Riddler here. The most corrupt leaders of Gotham are now out of the picture. But that makes Batman's victory in this movie a personal one. He started the movie blind. Now he can see. By losing the battle of this movie, it sets him up to win the longer war. And it shows us that work always needs to be done. While this may be the dawn of the seventh day, it is not the time for rest. I obviously love this movie, and I love it more and more each time I watch it and more I talk about it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Like, yeah, the Riddler definitely won. This is like one of those Thanos. What was the first Infinity War movie? I think it was just Infinity War, right? But yeah, he won. Like the only thing that he didn't win is he thought that him and Batman was working together. So other than that, like he won everything that he wanted to do. He did. He didn't kill the mayor. Right, but I mean, look, he got a couple shots off. So I mean, look, fear is installed.
Hopefully diving into the details help you appreciate it more too. Hey, a reminder that you can get this limited edition Gotham Noir shirt at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, Batman.
Yeah. So no doubt, guys. Definitely subscribe to New Rockstars, and I guess I'm gonna have to figure out some way so I can get this stuff so that you guys can see it, right? But definitely subscribe, and look, we out. Caw-caw!